And tomorrow we'll see mainly cloudy skies and be breezy with a high near 59. A meteorologist Kyle Butler for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Right now, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months, or great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best of the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. The Husker Games are coming soon. Do you know your tailgate meal for before and after the events? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate something for all Nebraskans made in Nebraska. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you tailgate without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No party or tailgate is complete without it.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Hey, bestie. Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, first and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday this week. We're celebrating my daughter's birthday tomorrow. She does not know what we're doing, although I got grilled like I was being interrogated yesterday. So DP is going to be filling in a little bit of DP, one-on-one with DP tomorrow, but typically Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time. Grab your lunch. Come join us. What you're going to hear, Husker sports, college football, and sports in general, which you're going to get unique insight, unbridled honesty. And producer Jake and I are going to have a whole lot of fun in the process. You guessed it, loaded show today. Lexi Rodriguez. All right, Jordy Ball's getting honored. I didn't get to talk about baseball beating Creighton the other night. Well, we should at least talk about that. I know it's been a couple of days ago. All right, but I didn't have a show yesterday. Mike Ekeler changing things on special teams. We have a need for a punter now, or a clear-cut starter anyways at the punter position. All right, Matt Rule's going to do a press conference today. Give reactions to Matt Rule's press conference as well. Carriker's Trivia Challenge returns sometime between 12 and 12:30 later on today. And I figured, Jake, you tell me this. How interesting is this? Because I finally hit my goal weight. I think I told you this like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
But there was so much to talk about. Like, I understand that my weight loss journey is not at the top of people's priority list, but is it at least worth chatting about just a little bit today?
I think so. I would try to lose some pounds too. I'm interested how you did it.
A little bit intrigued. Okay. So we will do that as well. All right. Got a whole plethora of other things. Shedeur Sanders. There's strong rumors going around. Now, I don't know. Jason Whitlock's kind of a polarizing figure in the media. But he has straight up said that when Deion Sanders negotiated his contract, because he got more money this offseason, that part of his negotiations were you need to retire Shedeur's number. That's what Jason Whitlock has come out and said on his show, which I think is not surprising, not shocking, and just absolutely ridiculous. You know, they haven't even retired Tim Tebow's number at Florida. They haven't even retired that number at Florida. So Shedeur, 7th all-time on Colorado's all-time passing yards, I should say. 7th. Nobody in front of him has their number retired. Hey, second-team All-American. That's phenomenal. Number retired already? Again, Travis Hunter, I get it. Heisman Trophy winner. You've only had 2 in the history of Colorado football. You've had a bunch of great players. This is ridiculous. Sometimes people are like, you can see what's going on. You can easily connect the dots. And people just don't really want to talk about it, don't want to point it out. But man, when you look back years later, like, that was freaking asinine. Like, that was crazy. But they won't talk about it in the moment to the level it should be talked about or pointed out. Like, this is why I have serious doubts about Shedeur Sanders succeeding at the level that he can succeed as an NFL quarterback. He's a top 5 talent. He is. He's a top 5 talent. I said that after we played him. Even after the Tommy Hill pick 6, even after he left the field 2 minutes early that night in Lincoln, when the Black Shirts just mauled Colorado, at least for the first half, only gave up 10 points the whole game. So he's a top 10 talent. I wouldn't touch him with a first-round pick because he's used to certain things. He's never experienced life without daddy. Well, now he's going to have to. Probably. I don't know. Something tells me Deion's going to get in there somehow. And that's not shade on Deion. It's if I'm a pro scout looking at Shedeur, dude, got the frame, got the size, definitely a good enough arm, had a lot of success everywhere he's went. He's great at reading defenses. That's actually not my concern. It's how's he going to do without daddy? How's he going to do when he has to be a leader of men? How's he going to do in a locker room full of guys that are going to see him, not just as a rookie or a guy who's got to pave his way, but a guy who's got to go the extra mile because of his last name, because of what we all see. D1 Daddy Ball is so ridiculous. It was so ridiculous that, and I called him Baby Ferentz for a reason. First off, it started because he took shots at us one offseason. If anybody remembers that a few years ago, that's where Baby Ferentz came from. But Kirk Ferentz, his son Brian Ferentz, was an awful offensive coordinator. Awful. Yet every year, he just kept coming back. The worst part is they still beat us way too often. Besides that, I'm like, this guy is an awful offensive coordinator. He shouldn't have an OC job. But his daddy's the head coach, so he keeps coming back. Then they took dad out of it by putting it in his contract. They made it easy for dad to let him go because they just said you got to average 25 points a game basically to keep your job. Not something that's put in very many people's contracts, by the way, but it was their way of making Christmas and Thanksgiving easier at the Ferentz household. Well, if it's in the contract, it's not really my dad firing me, although he's a really bad offensive coordinator. He should be fired, but we're going to give Kirk a way out and still get rid of this guy who should have been fired like 3-4 years ago. And I can imagine how that would be hard. But that's the risk you take when you hire your family, when you hire your son. That's the risk you take. So I don't feel too sorry for you. With Dion, the D1 daddy ball is crazy to me. Shedeur has the arm. He has the size. He reads defenses better than most guys going into the first round that are going to be first-round NFL quarterbacks. The concerns are like 3/4 of his passes were within 6 to 7 yards of the line of scrimmage. All short, quick, get-out-the-ball passes. First of all, which leads to the second concern, he always had the better athletes on the edge. They had 3 of the most athletic wide receivers in the entire country, let alone in a conference where they've had one top 25 recruiting class in 3 years. So you weren't facing elite guys on defense. So you had the better athletes, a lot of short passes, and he holds the ball too long, which is ironic because a lot of his passes were short. When it wasn't a designed short pass, get it to Travis in space, let him do his thing, some of the other guys as well. And some of the longer, he'd hold it forever. Which was amazing to me considering how awful the Colorado D-line was. Because that's actually another pro. I look at Shedeur and I'm like, what happens if that guy ever actually gets an offensive line that's just slightly below average or doesn't absolutely suck? Because their offensive line was awful. And they were significantly better last year than they were 2 years ago. So think about how bad they were 2 years ago. He's never had a good offensive line. He's never had a run game. So with Shedeur, it's all these things. The physical talent is there. The ability to read defenses is there. It's all the intangibles that I question. I'm curious to see what he does if he has a run game to help support him throwing the ball, and he has an offensive line that actually gives him some time. But what happens when he doesn't always have the best athletes on the field he's throwing to? What happens when he actually has to do something beyond just throw? Like the intermediate passes, he just never, it was either deep and held it way too long because he's trying to throw it up to those athletes, or short, get it to the athletes in space, let them go. The intermediate throws, that's where NFL quarterbacks go from average to good, good to great, great to elite. Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, those guys didn't have great arms. He has better arms than both of them. But their intermediate passing game, like if I was rating them in Madden be like a 95 to a 99, Shedeur be like a 60 right now. I wouldn't even know what to rate it because they never did it. And that's the most important thing a quarterback needs to be able to do is be accurate in the intermediate pass game as well as read defenses and lead men. One of those 3 things I trust, the ability to read defenses, the ability to lead men, an intermediate pass game, I don't trust at all. It's just crazy to me that his number is going to be retired already. All right. Do you have any thoughts on that, Jake? And then we'll move on because we could go to Bill Belichick and his, 22-year-old girlfriend going up and down the sideline.
I think she's 24.
19, 14, 12. I mean, very well dressed, but not for necessarily someone who's somehow on staff now. Speaking of just ridiculous favors, I mean, it's always been who you know, not necessarily what you know, way more often than not in life. I've known that since I could start knowing things. But it is crazy. And it's crazy for me. Bill Belichick, maybe the GOAT. Vince Lombardi, Bill Belichick, those would be the first 2 that come to my mind when it comes to NFL all-time great coaches. There's others that are in the conversation as well, obviously. He was the no-nonsense, no distractions, like coach of all time, even more so than Lombardi and Parcells and all those other guys that were no-nonsense. He was the ultimate no-nonsense. He's the guy that would stand up there at press conferences. I don't know. We're getting better. I mean, he was the I'm just here so I won't get fined guy before Marshawn Lynch was the I'm just here so I won't get fined guy. Now he's parading this woman around. She's on staff. She's walking out in the middle of the field, walking out in the middle of the spring game. Not dressed like a staffer. I don't think she's uber qualified. And then the other thing is, okay, let's be real. A little bit of locker room chatter here. There can be competition within guys in the locker room. Ooh, I can get that girl. Can you get that girl? I got that girl. You didn't get that girl. You don't think one of those North Carolina players that's the same age as her isn't looking at her saying, man, that'd be pretty cool to, maybe be with Bill Belichick's girlfriend or whatever. To me, it's like the no distractions guy completely went the opposite direction, and I'm trying to figure out why. The only thing I can think of, and so you got to remember during the interview process with North Carolina, it's like he was interviewing North Carolina. He sent them a 400-page document of everything that he wanted. Think about 400 pages. Think about back in school when you had to write a 500-word essay. What'd that take? 3 pages? 4? 400 pages of stuff he wanted. It was like he was interviewing them. I get the feeling, I don't know this, I get the feeling he's walking into college football just kind of expecting to just know way more than everybody and steamroll everybody. And maybe he's trying to live his second college years out. I don't know where he went to. I didn't looked up where he went to college or anything like that. I don't know. It's crazy to me. Some of these things that are going on. Crazy, interesting, whatever word you want to use. Speaking of crazy, Nico Iamaleava, the thing just won't go away. The story just won't go. I keep expecting to wake up and, all right, we moved on. Nope. So it went from his dad was DMing folks on Twitter. He's getting offers for more, which I sat here and said, The same guy who went after Pete Nakos and said, this isn't happening at Tennessee while it was happening at Tennessee. That same guy. Now all of a sudden there's rumors that it's UCLA for $1 million a year. That is correct. Is there new news since I looked at that an hour ago, Jake? Have you heard of anything new?
I have not. That's the most recent report.
And now all of a sudden, because it was about he's got to take advantage of his opportunities and he's got to make money while he can and everything else. Now all of a sudden, they didn't like Tennessee's offense. You dislike that offense to the tune of $1.4 million that you're willing to lose? Josh Heupel, the guy who's known for offense. BS. You got greedy. You did some dumb stuff. Now you're leaving a lot of money on the table. You won't own up. And now you want to try to throw the previous coach you had under the bus. Josh Heupel's known for offense. National championship winning quarterback, year 2000. All right, went to UCF, did what UCF teams do. They go fast, they light up the scoreboard. Went to USC, did the same thing. In fact, Tennessee. In fact, some of the worst offenses he's ever had as a head coach is with Nico as his quarterback, not other guys. Other guys who were in the league, I might add, by the way. So let me remind you, Tennessee was known for their run game and their defense last year. What does that tell you? When that's what they're known for, what does that tell you, Jake?
That's probably the strength of the team.
It tells you the quarterback didn't play well.
Yeah. And by the way, if they're changing for offense, Tino Sinceri, I think, will be in his first year calling plays at UCLA. I think it's his first year overall. He was a co-offensive coordinator one other year last year at Indiana, but other than that.
I'm calling BS on all of this. You got greedy. You screwed up. You cost yourself $1.4 million. Although, I don't know. Has UCLA and the $1 million been 100% confirmed? I know it's the strong rumor right now. Has it been confirmed yet?
I don't know if any of this is necessarily confirmed because it's all NIL within the. But yeah, I mean that's the idea behind it.
I thought Brandon Walker on Twitter had a great tweet. If Nico and his family are actually leaving Tennessee because of UT's offense, it's a good decision. Last year's offense was slow and not explosive at all. Next paragraph. Of course, it was only that way because Tennessee had an inaccurate quarterback who couldn't read defenses. But whatever. Nailed it. Frickin' nailed it. None of this was planned for the first segment. None of this was planned for the first segment. I did think this was interesting because nobody has talked about this. At the end of the day, all that matters is if you win or lose as a coach, within reason. Gargantuan scandals aside. Urban Meyer on Nico Iamaleava's departure. Tennessee's in trouble. They got problems. Everybody's saying, nice job, Tennessee, making a stand. I've got a little comment on that. Tennessee plays Florida usually every year in October. This is true. Can you imagine that game's going the other way and Coach Heupel grabs the microphone after getting blown out on the 50-yard line in Neyland Stadium and says, "It's okay. I made a stand way back when," end quote. I don't know. I still think Josh Heupel did the right thing, but they got Avery Johnson's still, like, they're following each other on X now. Josh Heupel and Avery Johnson, the starting quarterback at Kansas State. So maybe they'll find their guy, but they're in a tough spot. But I don't know what else you do. Nico not only lost the coaching staff, he lost the locker room.
Well, did you see too the with just the possibility of Iam Aliava not yet having committed to UCLA, but they went out and got Joey Aguilar from Appalachian State. He already told ESPN that he representatives for him have been covering their bases. They're making calls to other schools to gauge interest. So this could kind of set up a ripple effect. So Tennessee maybe will go after Joey Aguilar. Maybe it'll be a trade.
Our first college football trade. I did think this was funny, and my favorite part was that Lane Kiffin is the one who put it out on X. So a Vols fan was interviewed about Nico. And the quote is, "He Lane Kiffined us," end quote, talking about Nico. Lane quote tweeted it and just put the emoji where he's slapping himself in the head. And then somebody underneath goes, "Lane Kiffin caught a stray at Tennessee's spring game last weekend." But I love all of that. He Lane Kiffined us, and then Lane's the one who basically kind of called himself out. I love that. I thought that was great.
That's funny because I immediately thought, as soon as this was going down, it's like, okay, well, on the level of Lane Kiffin, how hated is Nico Iamaleava now?
I think he's far surpassed at this point. Lane Kiffin, that is. I think Lane Kiffin's come around to the point where most people enjoy him.
Well, I mean, in Knoxville, to be fair, is what I mean.
Well, yeah.
I don't think they've forgiven him, bro.
They don't enjoy him in Knoxville. They probably just, I don't like the H word, hate. So really, 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 really dislike him less than they really, really, really dislike Nico, because they really, really dislike Nico Iamaleava a lot more. By the way, I've never seen so much wordplay with somebody's name before. I'm Olivia, Iamaleava, all that stuff. That was, for me, it's great. For Nico, probably not so much. All right, when we come back, Jake said it was okay. So I've got an interesting weight loss journey in the aspect of I've put on 100 pounds, I lost 100 pounds, and then I almost put it all the way back on. And then I went from 303 to 270 since last June 1st. I did take football season off because losing weight during football season just ain't gonna happen for me. And then the holidays came around, and, well, the holiday season happened. But the scale stopped being a raging a-hole. I ultimately got there. So we will discuss it next segment, mostly because Jake said it was okay. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans, begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage, 402-420-6277, or judsonirrigation.com.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com, because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions on 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere air seeder during Landmark Implement's Fast Start Early Order program. Take your seeding performance to the next level with John Deere's advanced air seeding technology. Achieve precise seed and fertilizer placement, optimize emergence, and cover more acres with less downtime. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year during Landmark Implement's Fast Start Early Order program. Contact your Landmark Implement for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
Fleet Feet Lincoln is excited for the upcoming spring season and the warmer temps, and they want you to get outside and be active. Fleet Feet's Fit ID process takes a free 3D image of your feet to help runners and walkers alike find comfortable tennis shoes and inserts that ease pain associated with plantar fasciitis, bunions, and more. Get back on your feet this spring with a trip to Fleet Feet, open 7 days a week at 77th and Pioneers.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
In today's digital world, technology works great until it doesn't. At Hamilton, we work to keep your business up and running. We are more than an IT company. We're your partner, focused on customized solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Say goodbye to tech stress and unexpected IT costs when you hire Hamilton. Together, we help you focus on what really matters. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Start your engines, race fans. Race season at Eagle Raceway officially starts this Friday and Saturday. Friday, April 18th and Saturday, April 19th is the Icebreaker Challenge, presented by Stop and Shop and Auto Transmatic at Eagle Raceway. Both days feature Nebraska's best lawn and landscape modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, and A1 Iron stock cars. Friday also features Valentino's Hobby Stocks. Saturday will feature Nebraska Septic Sprint cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right, if Nico does officially go to UCLA, and make for quite the interesting November for Nebraska. These would be the teams, well, we're playing these teams no matter what Nico does, but, all right, the teams we'd play in November, USC, UCLA, with Nico, it's got to be intriguing. All right, Penn State and Iowa. That is an intriguing November. in my humble opinion. All right. So I will try to go quickly. My weight loss story actually goes, if I'm going to give you the full scope of everything, I'm going to go all the way back to my senior year of high school. I was 235, the start of the football season. I was a quarterback. I was a defensive end. By the end of the season, I was 225. I was the only guy on my team that played both offense and defense. We were the largest level of school in the state of Washington, so it wasn't very common for guys to play both ways. I was literally the only guy on the entire team that did it, mostly because I hated quarterback. I wanted to play defense, and I said, I'm going to play defense this year because I hadn't until I was a senior. My coach said, we still need a quarterback. I was like, fine, I'll do both. I know, I'm one of those weird guys who'd rather hit people than throw and run for touchdowns. So I actually lost 10 pounds, and I didn't play basketball that year because I'm like, all right, I'm going to Nebraska. I am not getting mollywopped and curb stomped in practice unless I give it everything I got. And you got to keep in mind, Nebraska just been the Rose Bowl. You know, Crouch just won the Heisman, everything else. Number one in the country, beat Oklahoma for a good portion of the season. All right, remember 01. The year I redshirted was 02. So I pretty much lifted the entire winter. Didn't play basketball. Remember the basketball coach kind of gave me a dirty look in the hallway one day, but never said a word to me. I must not have wanted me that bad. I was just Dennis Rodman. I'd foul, rebound, and play great defense. I wasn't going to pour in a bunch of buckets, but that was okay. All right. I remember we were going to play this team that was rather trash talky. And boy, they were doing it. And the coach came up and he goes, I want you to dunk in pregame warmups. The reason you didn't do that was because it was an automatic technical foul. If you did it, he goes, do it. And I did it. And then they started chirping. We got the technical foul. They ran us right off the court. We weren't very good. That was my junior year. But anyways, that was the last time we really spoke because he just gave me a dirty look in the hallway, but that was fine with me. So I spent the entire winter just lifting. I played school baseball that summer. I didn't do summer baseball, which I had done ever since I could remember when I was like 8. T-ball was 7 from the time I was 8 on, man. It was all summer was baseball, but I wanted to lift. So I get on campus. It's like July something. It's after July 4th. And I remember I step on the scale. I'm 247. So I'd put on 22 pounds since the end of my football season. And I was 247, 6 whatever months later, that is, July, whatever it was, 7th, 8th, 9th. And that's when my parents dropped me off. I slept on Justin Smith, who was a backup defensive end at the time. I slept on his couch for 2 weeks, okay, before the dorms open. You could go to camp, back when you could do 2-a-days. And as I knew I was going to redshirt. I pretty much knew. I remember Solich and Darlington and Craig Bowl was the D coordinator. Nelson Barnes was the D-line coach. They all asked me and Jay, the other freshman defensive end, more, do you want a redshirt or not? Long story short, I think I've mentioned this before. I was trading my worst season because I asked my dad. He goes, why don't you trade your worst season when you're the youngest and you know the least for your best season when you're the oldest and a fifth-year senior and hopefully, bigger, faster, stronger at that point. So that was my theory. So I redshirted. So I spent I did what redshirts do. I went to class, I lifted, I practiced and whatnot. Came back from my redshirt freshman season. And I remember Willie Amos that spring before spring practice started. We're sitting there in the training table. And he just looks at me. Willie was so quiet, like the nicest guy ever. National champion jump roper in high school. Man, he could do some insane things with that jump rope. And he just starts laughing. What are you laughing about? He goes, the bullets are going to be real for you now, boy. And what he meant was now you're not redshirted. Like the protective layer of a redshirt's gone. And when you're redshirting, you're kind of forgotten about, other than by the wait staff, because they're focused, the coaches, on the guys who are going to play on Saturday. All right. And so go throughout the spring. And that was really the first time I was like, I can dive more into this later, but it was really the first time I was like, I can play here. And you go against Richie every day and you start to win more battles than you lose. And he gets pissed at you because you are winning more battles than you lose. That was really the first sign that I could play. I came back that next fall. I was 260 for my redshirt freshman season. I came back as a sophomore. I was 270. And my junior year, I was 280. My senior year, and if I could go back in time, I would say, Adam, you want to stay a defensive end for the NFL draft, which was not even on my radar, honestly. Okay, 4 games into my junior year, I had 4 sacks. Going to the NFL was never on my radar. Not even on my dream was to play in Nebraska. A guy wrote an article in the paper. Adam Carriker's already pretty much decided he's going to the NFL draft after this year, which was news to me. What? News to me. I still have the article, by the way. But it got me thinking about it anyways. But if I could go back in time, I would have told myself, stop at 280. That means in nickel situations, dime situations, you'll go to D tackle when you're going to rush the passer. Otherwise, you're going to stay in end. for some reason, I like to lift weights too much. And I was like, I'm going to get as big, as strong as I can. And I jumped up to 295 going into my senior year. I stayed a defensive end. Now, we changed our defense. A lot of scouts thought we went to a 3-4, still a 4-3, but I always went to the strong side. I was always in the 5 technique gap, and I always had the tight end to my side. The backside end could get wide. He rarely had a tight end. He could just fly off the edge. I remember a couple times the tight end traded because I would go to the strength side. The tight end changed the side of formation, and so I would become him. He would become me, and I could hear him getting pissed because all of a sudden he had to go in that 5 tech, and I got to get wide. Which I love, but didn't happen very often. But I got up to 295. All right. When I went to the combine, I forget the exact weight. I was like 295, 96 or whatever. Pro day, I was 292. That was the day I ran the 4.72. And then I get to St. Louis. They want to move me to nose guard. And they want me up to 310. I'm like, well, I'm 6'6", 292. Why did you draft me to play nose guard if you want me to put on 18 pounds and camp starts in 5 weeks? I didn't understand that. I was like, what? Okay, sure, whatever. I'm a rookie. You know, rookies don't speak unless spoken to. But those were the thoughts in my head. If I could go back in time, I honestly would have told myself, you've got to think more about yourself. Because I was told, you don't speak unless spoken to, team first, everything. Like, that's the culture I was brought up in my house and on the teams that I played in. I should have stopped at 280. I mean, things worked out all right for me. I'm just saying, you know, if I could give myself advice to try to make things even a little bit better. Stop at 280, don't go to 295, because then I never get put in nose guard, which is a fine position, and it's just more fun. I'm just going to be honest. So I ultimately, by the end of my rookie year, I remember I stepped on the scale, and I'm like 308. It was by the end of my rookie year, so like months later. Somehow I put on weight during the season. I was there for 4 years. I think I was roughly like 308, 310, 312, 304, depending on the day, the whole entire time. I go to D.C. They trade for me. I arrive in D.C. 3 hours later, and I meet with the guy who basically just yelled and screamed at me the entire combine. I've shared this story before. The meeting with him, he was a former Broncos D-line coach. I didn't know he was a Redskins coach. I walk in, there's Bernie. I'm like, oh, God. I text my wife, crap, it's this dude. And we met, and he goes, I want you 325. And I was like, huh? Like, I'm what? Like, I'm 308. You want me to put on 17 pounds? Now, this was like in April. So at least I had a lot of time before August rolled around. I'll be honest with you, I didn't do it. I didn't want to do it. Now, if you're going to play at a high level, you got to have a certain amount of confidence. I looked at him and I said, my strength is my strength. I said, nobody's ever outpowered me, which was not entirely true because I played against Larry Allen. So, with the exception of one individual, nobody had ever outpowered me. Not one-on-one, anyways. Larry Allen destroyed me, and I had to have a completely different game plan when we played him the second time my rookie year. I said, if I start getting moved around, then I'll go up to 325 because I was going to be a 340 end. And he agreed. A year later, he comes back, I want you 325. And I was like, wait, I played really well. We signed a second contract. You guys came to me with the contract offers. He's like, yeah, now I want you to do it. So I got up to 320 one day, one time. I kind of hung around 317 most of my time in DC, which again, I don't think actually helped me, but you know, it is what it is. So I ended up retiring after being in DC 4 years. And I had this goal of being a guy who basically put on 100 pounds. Because I remember one day, I was 225 at the end of my senior year of high school. I remember one day I was 220, but I was basically 225. Okay. I wanted to be a guy who went from, in my mind, 220 to 320 and all the way back down to 220. Like somebody who put on 100 pounds, lost 100 pounds. I don't know why. That was the goal of mine. So I did that. And I went on one of the most insane workout regimens after I'd retired. Insane workout regimens you've ever seen. Insane eating regimens you've ever seen. I got one meal a week where I could eat what I want. And that thing was always on Sunday. It's always early in the day because then you have the rest of the day to digest it and it doesn't stick to you when you weigh yourself the next morning on the scale. The later you eat it in the day, especially if it's at supper, you can eat the same amount of food at supper as at noon, and you will weigh more the next day the later in the day you eat it. Okay, so I learned little tricks like drinking more water, obviously working out, you know, eating healthy, things of that nature. I got all the way down to 220. And the first thing I did, I went to Dunkin' Donuts, about a dozen donuts. I had a flight out to DC. I was going to get a shot in my knee. I'd had 6 surgeries in my knee. I was supposed to be like a PRP shot. They've proven not to really help, but at the time, people thought highly of them. So I bought these dozen donuts. My wife and kids were supposed to come home. My plan was to eat 3. 3 turned into 6. They were late getting home. 3 turned into 6, turned into 9. I ate the whole dozen donuts. Probably more calories than I'd eaten in forever. And I woke up the next day and I went from 220 to 229 due to a dozen donuts. Basically, what happened over time is I developed something I'd never had. I'd never had an issue with food. I could just eat whatever I want. I worked out insanely hard. I obviously was very active, very physical, exercised a lot. Like, food became something that was on my mind when it had never been on my mind besides trying to be an athlete. I don't want to say it became a little bit of a mental problem, but it became a dilemma. And over the course, you got to keep in mind, this is like 10 years ago. It's like 2014, 15. Over the course of the next 8 to 9 years, going into 2023, I got all the way back up to 303. I put on 83 pounds. And there was times when I was working out real well. I got in a bike wreck, really messed up my shoulder because I was rolling at that point. Like, I was rolling, I was in shape, I was eating good. This is about 3 years ago. I got in a bad bike wreck, jacked up my shoulder. I had to be taken away in an ambulance and all this stuff. I was fine. It's not as crazy as it sounds, although it was very, very painful. That concrete is hard, I tell you what. And I didn't work out for an entire year. So June 1st of last year, I got on the scale. I'd been avoiding that thing for a long time. I got on the scale, and I knew it wasn't going to be pretty. I didn't like how I looked. I didn't like how I felt. I knew I wasn't working out. It'd been about a year. I knew I hadn't been eating healthy, and it said 303. When I got in that wreck the year before, or accident, whatever you want to call it, I was about 280. So I put on 23 pounds of not goodness. And we were in the middle of moving. When I stepped on a scale that day, like 2/3 of my family was in Lincoln. We were still there where we were living before. We hadn't fully moved yet because Dakota and Jacob were finishing their baseball season. So I stayed there. We rented a house because we had sold our house there. And Angie was moving in stuff to our house here, playing single mom. So I stepped on the scale, and we probably got to go to break. I can wrap this up after this. It was 303. And I was so mad at myself. I was mad at myself because going from 220, 225 up to 317, one day 320 was different when I was playing football, and it was allocated differently on my body. When I went all the way down to 220, I knew I wasn't realistically going to stay there. Like, I was like, oh, I'll stay around. I'll get up to 240, 250, hang out there. Well, that didn't happen. By the way, I'm way too skinny. I'm 6'6", 220, man. I look like a beanpole. Like, it's too skinny. But I had this goal, put on 100, lose 100. I can be that guy that can say that. What I didn't anticipate was over the course of 8, 9 years. It wasn't overnight, putting back on basically 80 some pounds of not good weight. So on June 1st, I stepped on the scale. I was 303, and I came up with a plan. We're going to go to break. I'm going to wrap this story up, but I kind of hinted I'm losing weight. I was frustrated at times. I just talk about how much I hate the scale or whatever. I wouldn't go too much into depth. And I finally made my goal. Hopefully I can retain it better than I did last time. My goal was not 220. It was much more realistic, much more life sustainable based on the stuff I like to eat right now. But we will talk about that, and we'll wrap this segment up after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
The Husker Games are coming soon. Do you know your tailgate meal for before and after the events? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate something for all Nebraskans made in Nebraska. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you tailgate without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No party or tailgate is complete without it. Start your engines, race fans. Race season at Eagle Raceway officially starts this Friday and Saturday. Friday, April 18th and Saturday, April 19th is the Icebreaker Challenge, presented by Stop and Shop and Auto Transmatic at Eagle Raceway. Both days feature Nebraska's best lawn and landscape modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, and A1 Iron stock cars. Friday also features Valentino's hobby stocks. Saturday will feature Nebraska Septic sprint cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes. And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown's Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln. Authentic Mexican food is not always easy to find, but you can find it in Lincoln at Tacos Los Hermanos. Their birria tacos are worth the drive from anywhere in town, but their chicken, chorizo, al pastor, and asada tacos are also worth the trip. You can also try any of those meats in a burrito or quesadilla. You won't find a better toppings bar in the area or better dessert options. If you can't get there, don't worry, they do deliver as well. Stop by Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock Streets in Lincoln.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
At Allo, we go beyond internet, bringing you faster speeds backed by an all-fiber network. We go beyond TV and phone service, delivering reliable, crystal clear connections. We go beyond customer service with local teammates and no robots for a hassle-free experience. We go beyond value, offering transparent prices with no contracts, hidden fees, or data caps. We even go beyond our office doors by working, hiring, volunteering, and living in the communities we serve. Go beyond fiber. Sign up today at allofiber.com.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Early break wrap. What do you have?
Oh yeah, good one. Someone orders a wrap. I want to come across the table.
Oh, wrap.
What do you guys have? What's your best wrap?
No.
What's your
so
wrap?
incredible.
Was that buffalo chicken? That's incredible. Yeah. When you say I want to get, I'm going to stop where they have great wraps. I
Good
want to throw a punch.
Here's one, too, that I encountered.
With Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush from 6 to 9 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. So June 1st, step on the scale. And I told Jake, I said I was mad, but I wasn't surprised. I knew it wasn't going to be pretty. At 303. And I was like, all right. Well, I'm not going to try to lose 100 pounds again. First of all, that would have made me 203. That ain't going to work. I was like, I don't even want to get to 220 or 240. I want to do something that is sustainable. Because when people say I'm going on a diet, I cringe. I've been on a diet. It's not the diet, it's the aftermath of the diet. You need a life change, something you can do day in and day out for an extended period of time, something that's realistic. I'm like, what's a realistic amount of weight for me to lose? And I'm going to give myself plenty of time to do it so I can enjoy life. So when I reach it, this is something I can sustain. And then if another day down the road, a year or two, 10 years, I'm like, all right, now I'm 50. How about I trim up a little bit more? You know, I've had heart issues in the past. So I was like, what's a weight for now and what's a time frame? So my thought was 270. I like 270. So I was like, all right, lose 33 pounds. How am I going to do this? You got to keep in mind, I've had a torn meniscus in my left knee for 9 years. I need surgery. I mean, I can function, but it limits what I can do. My right knee has had 6 surgeries. I've had a good buddy of mine. I don't know how good buddies we are, but he was a doctor. He goes, man, your knee sucks. I was like, well, could you not say that, not laugh when you say it? He's like, well, okay. He was a Colorado fan, so what do you expect? Good dude, though, great doctor. So I'm working with some limitations here. So my goal was to get to 270. I knew that wouldn't happen by football season. And then Jake during the break was like, well, why can't you lose weight during football season? Well, I can. But as you might imagine, it's the most busiest time of the year for me. And when you're trying to lose weight, even if you're trying to like not rush and crash diet or whatever, you're still going to be eating less. You're going to be exercising more. You're going to be more tired. I can't afford to be more tired during football season. So my thought was, and I did a ton of walking. I was like, you know, I can lift lower body, and I do now. I do squats now. I do deadlift now. But at the time, I was like, man, what's something I can do? We're moving. Life's crazy. So I was like, I went out and I walked an hour every day, 6 days a week, which is 18 miles a week. And then I would go lift an insane amount of upper body at insanely high reps. I'm talking like 25, 30 reps. So it was almost like cardio. And then I would do some, like cardio, just by the way, is a big waste. You can go on the elliptical for an hour, burn 400 calories, 1 cupcake. That's it. So over the course of time, my goal was to be 280 by the time football season started, or 285 at the worst. I was about 283 when football season started. I took a break. I maintained that. Holidays came. That wasn't great. I got up to almost 290. 289.4, I think, was after we came back from the holidays. I was like, oh, all right. I got 19 pounds to go again. Crap. And that's when I was like, oh, the scale is being a jerk to me, or whatever the case may be. And I tried different things. I got finally to 270. I think it was Monday. I came in and I told Jake, I'm like, I finally made it. So this is all the way back starting June 1st. I did take a little break during football season. But this was something I did. A large part was walking. And when I said that to Joel Makovica, he laughed, which I thought was ironic for a physical therapy guy. Like I said, now I can do squats and I can do lunges, but I got to be smart. One of the things I've learned, if you want to exponentially get stronger and get more out of your workout, going up and down and swinging the body just to try to get more weight on the bar isn't the best way to do that. When you're doing a squat, for example, or a bench press, on the way down, you want to count to 3 or 4. 1, 2, 3. And then you want a brief pause beyond full range of motion. Dumbbells are better because you can go even lower than a barbell on the bench. That extra stretch on the muscles will get you an extra 5 to 10% muscle growth if that's your goal, or muscle burn, especially the more reps you add as you're trying to lose weight. Like 90 degrees on a squat is the bare minimum. you really should be going much lower. Go on YouTube, watch this guy named Dr. Mike Israetel. Now, he's a little dirty, okay? But his knowledge is phenomenal. I didn't want to do this because that sucks. Doing 1 rep at normal speed and doing it 30 times sucks for a guy my size. It's exhausting. I was like, now I'm supposed to do it really slow and then on the way down and then pause. I'm like, oh. When I would come in and I would be frustrated with the scale, I was not doing that. I finally was like, you know what? I'm going to go really slow on the way down. I'm going to pause and I'm going to come back up just like normal. The instant I did that, the weight started to come off so much more. You will get exponentially stronger. You will get exponentially more benefit out of your workout. It exponentially sucks way more. And if you're trying to lose weight, it is significantly better than going and spending an hour on the elliptical. The instant I did that, I went from 289 to 284 to 280 to 277 to 273 to 270 on Monday. It sucks. It takes forever. The burn is worse, and the results are exponentially better. So if you're someone out there who just wants to be healthy, you want to get stronger, you want to lose weight, you want to get more benefit out of your workouts, I count it to 4. Dr. Mike Israetel was like, count anywhere from 3 to 5. When my kids are lifting at home, we got a workout place at our home. They're just starting to learn how to work out. I have them count to 3 because they're kids and I want them to learn to enjoy it first. Like Addie's an 8th grader, whatever. I'll be like, all right, count to 3, brief pause at the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, brief pause, come up like normal. And where she's training for track, I actually try to have her explode up so you get that speed element. But the more reps you do that at, the harder it is to be explosive because you wear out over time. So it's a mixture of trying to train her how to have proper technique and be explosive for track. She's in 8th grade. I'd rather err towards proper technique and, hey, let's have some fun with this. But that's kind of, in a brief nutshell, my weight loss journey. And I will say this, the number one thing is, if I were to give anyone advice, unsolicited advice here, number 1, diet. By far number 1. I could go work my butt off in the weight room. And if I didn't eat good, that scale would stay the same the next day. If I ate insanely healthy one day, just went and walked for 40 minutes and didn't work out at all, I'd lose a pound or 2. Just the diet alone. If I ate really healthy and I did some of the workouts that I'm talking about, I did no cardio during any of this. It was all high reps, slow on the way down, pause, come back up, weightlifting, and walking. That was it. You can ask my wife. I ran 0 times on the treadmill, 0 stair climber, which actually those 2 things aren't half bad, but like the elliptical, the bike, those things are great. But if you want more effectiveness, they're not the most effective things in the world. I didn't do those things once. Number 1 is diet. Number 2 is working out the proper way. It doesn't have to be insane. It has to be something, I'll get to number 3 in a second. But it's got to be something that you enjoy, but it's also got to be worth your time at the same time. Number 3 is something you can sustain. There's no point, like I did, in losing 100 pounds and then ballooning back up 83 pounds over the next 8 to 9 years. I was so mad at myself on June 1st. So I hope that helps if anyone's interested. Number 1 is diet. And with your diet. Chuck Carroll, a guy who lost, what did he say, 260 pounds, my former co-host in DC, he does not believe in moderation. I said, if you want a Pepsi, have a Pepsi, but not 3. He goes, no, that's terrible. You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so Chuck has his way. He's the weight loss champion of the world. Congrats. I'm telling you right now, you got to eat. Number 1 is diet, but do something you can sustain. If I want a Pepsi, I'll go have a Pepsi, but I won't have 3 or 4. He says, no, this is how I view it. This is what has worked for me. Okay, and what didn't work for me. Number 2, if you're going to work out, it doesn't have to be a ton, but it needs to be the right way. Do it the right way. Look up Dr. Mike Israetel. He tells it like it is. He's going to throw a bunch of dirty jokes in there if that's not your thing. Hey, there's other good trainers as well, but he will tell you the right thing. And he's pretty funny, I think. Not everyone does. On YouTube. Number 3 is something you can sustain. Something that is a lifestyle change or a lifestyle improvement, not a crash diet. All right. Jake, I hope I didn't bore you to death. I know you're famous for your naps. Any final thoughts before we move on?
No, yeah, I like that. Hopefully I'll be right behind you, lose some weight.
All right, man. I appreciate it. When we come back, we got a whole bunch of news. Husker sports, Husker football. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together. So close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Fleet Feet Lincoln is excited for the upcoming spring season and the warmer temps, and they want you to get outside and be active. Fleet Feet's Fit ID process takes a free 3D image of your feet to help runners and walkers alike find comfortable tennis shoes and inserts that ease pain associated with plantar fasciitis, bunions, and more. Get back on your feet this spring with a trip to Fleet Feet, open 7 days a week at 77 for pioneers.
Hey, it's Chad with Nutrition Authority inviting you to stop in and check out the #1 selling complete post-workout product, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out, exercises, or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today, try a free sample, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions on 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Pre-order your Hog Wild slow smoked Easter ham today. Hog Wild selects the highest quality whole ham and slow smokes them until they're tender and delicious. Our 100% boneless ham is approximately 4 pounds and $50. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com. Quantities are limited. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers and storms this afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny and breezy with a high near 87. Tonight, a chance of storms early and partly cloudy and breezy, low near 48. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly cloudy skies and it'll be breezy with a high near 59. And meteorologist Kyle Hunter for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker, who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Hi, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right, your daily friendly reminder, an announcement to be made that I've been teasing for a while. All right, we got a new edition. Well, new to you fine folks, because I've been holding on to this announcement because I'm kind of excited about it. But we got another coach who's going to be joining us at the inaugural Carriker Chronicles football camp. All right, Kenny Wilhite. Now, Kenny was an all-conference performer, standout defensive back for Coach Tom Osborne. Led not only the Huskers his senior year, but the conference in interceptions. He also has 25 years of college football coaching experience and was on the Nebraska staff for 9 years with the Huskers as well. So this is a Husker great who's going to be joining us. And man, if you want to get coached from a guy who's been doing it at the college football level for a long time with Nebraska elsewhere, he's been in charge, the head guy at some programs as well. It's Kenny Wilhite. All right, the inaugural Carriker Chronicles football camp, as I mentioned. Kenny, and we interviewed him. He sat right here for 30 minutes and we interviewed him, and you couldn't even think of who it was. Like, it didn't even pop in your head, Jake.
That's right. Well, I've interviewed Kenny a few times, so maybe that's why that interview must have blended in my mind.
We don't do anything that's unique here on the Adam Carriker Show, says Jake. All right. Let's see. Oh, yeah. The inaugural Carriker Chronicles football camp. Again, if you're interested in registering and or learning more, go to carrikerchronicles.com. The camp. All right. We'll also feature Eric Crouch, Amon Green, yours truly, and Zach Wiegert. So we got quarterbacks, running backs, linemen, DBs, and some guy who talks really fast. All right. July 9th, here in Lincoln, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., K through 8th, boys and girls, T-shirts included, autographs included. Ladies and gentlemen, again, if you want to learn more and or register the inaugural Carriker Chronicles football camp here in Lincoln, July 9th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., go to carrikerchronicles.com. All right. Well, before we dive into this, there's a couple of things. So apparently, we're minus a punter versus what we were a few days ago. All right, Jack McAllister put out on X, if you probably know by now. He will be going back into the transfer portal. All right. One fan put out, not surprising a punter is entering the portal. Dana Holgerson is pretty clear that we aren't going to be punting much. And I was like, I like that take on this. I don't know how much that was truly a factor, but I do love the take and I do love the reaction. But when you start to look at the portal itself, I tell you a program that's been hit hard. Cal. You know Cal lost their top 4 running backs to the portal? Did you know that, Jake?
Yeah, I saw. I think they've lost 5 of 6 now. I think they have 1 left.
Holy cow. All right. I'm curious to see if we just talked to any of them. The rule said we don't need to do anything in that room. But I'm just curious, did we talk to any of them? You know, if you could add Cal's starting running back to the mix, it'd depend on the NIL, the money, etc. All right. But as of 1:15 yesterday, 615 scholarship players had entered the transfer portal. That is enough to field 7 full college football teams. I just thought that was an interesting stat. All right. So Hardly Gilmore, Jake informed me during the break, has gone back to Kentucky. I wonder what that phone call was like. I don't need you. Wait, I'd like to come back. I wonder how gracious Kentucky. They were probably pretty gracious. I mean, he's got a lot of skill on the field.
It seems to be somewhat of a theme. I saw Ryan Brown, who just announced the other day that he is leaving North Carolina. He went to Purdue. He transferred to North Carolina for the spring. Same thing as Hardly Gilmore, basically. And now is visiting. They label it visiting West Lafayette. He doesn't have to visit it. He's been there.
That'd be like me. There's several. That'd be like me checking out Lincoln after I had left Lincoln or going back to where I grew up. Hey, I need to visit this place. He just wanted an excuse to party, let's be honest. All right, Micah Hudson, if you remember this individual, the former five-star high school recruit, signed with Texas Tech in the 2024 class, then transferred to A&M in December. He left the team shortly after arriving at College Station, and he is now in the transfer portal as well. Nebraska showed interest before. Hardly Gilmore is gone. What do you think, Jake? Is there some potential here? Serious potential. Obviously, there's potential, but serious potential of bringing Micah Hudson in potentially. Is there serious potential to potentially bring him in potentially? I like that word, apparently.
I think potentially. But I haven't seen anything necessarily about it. But I don't know. At this point, he seems like he would be hard to keep happy. And only has a few catches in his career. So his name is through this transfer portal, through NIL, is much bigger than it would be otherwise.
All right. Mike Ekeler. So here's the deal. When you look into Jack McAllister, our punter, or who was projected to be our punter, entering the transfer portal. All right. It's a bit of a surprising one, for sure. I mean, there's a guy that averaged 44 yards per punt, 3-year starter at Washington, punted in the national title game versus Michigan, as has been discussed in the past. All right. So he committed to Nebraska via the portal when Ed Foley was still our special teams coordinator. Ed is, as we know, Coach Foley's been relieved of his duties, and Matt Rule hired Tennessee volunteer special teams coordinator Mike Ekeler in his place. According to sources, Ekeler plans to use a rugby-style punter. Jack McAllister, is a traditional punter. It should be noted that when he hit the portal from Washington, he hit the portal because Washington was bringing in a rugby-style punter. So Mike Ekeler is changing some things and obviously, changing the way we're going to punt and the way we're going to approach punting and punt coverage and kick returns and punt returns. He's changing things, hopefully for the much better. I was tempted to say a lot more muches in there, but I did not. It's interesting to me because the thought occurred to me, like, Jack's a really good punter. Had he for just 1 year, Mike Ekeler said, all right, we'll do traditional punting for 1 year, and then we'll bring in a rugby-style guy next year. Camden Cook right now is the only punter we have on the roster, Sam Cook's son. So the question is Camden Cook, can he be a rugby-style punter? Are we going to go after somebody new? And obviously the coaches do what they believe is best. They're going to want to win football games, so they're going to do what they believe is best to win football games. But my thought was maybe just 1 year since you got a really good punter here, because now you got to go find what you're looking for unless you believe Camden Cook is that guy, which is a little bit of a bind. But what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on going to rugby-style punting? What are your thoughts on Jack hitting the portal? And Mike Ekeler changing a whole bunch of these things? And should they have maybe just given it a year since you had a good traditional punter here and then gone to the rugby-style punting? Or is it good just to, let's get into this now and we'll figure out who's going to punt the ball?
Well, as we know, the blocks were a big deal last year, so getting a guy on the move, could be beneficial. Rugby-style punting, for those that don't know, the punters are kind of in the move instead of kind of traditionally standing up. They think they can kind of get the ball to roll a little bit more too. Generally, don't have as many returns, so it's a style that a lot of teams have gone to. It's just kind of unfortunate with the timing. Like you said, McAllister brought in before they made the special teams hire. The special teams coach Mike Ekeler wants to go in a different route. But it was something I'm sure they considered. I think Matt Rule is speaking up at the press conference now, said that they might go after another guy too, a rugby style punter. So I don't know, because my initial thoughts were, okay, Camden Cook must have won that battle if they're kind of doing that route in this spring practice, this spring session. But apparently they're still going to go out there and get somebody. it's a little bit uneasy. You got to trust the process, trust Ekeler. But with how bad that special teams unit was, and with how good we talk about that transfer portal class coming in, we said, well, not every guys that these guys are going to make it and be great at Nebraska. Now we've seen Hardly Gilmore. Now we've seen Jack McAllister leave. It lets you know that that's definitely the case. But I definitely would give some thought to it. But if that's what they want to do in their special teams moving forward, and he doesn't kind of fit that, then I guess it makes sense. Not the biggest deal in the world, right? It's a punter, but it was a proven punter, and that was about the one thing that Nebraska had going for it last year. With Boom Sheedy. Now that he's gone, I mean, you just hate to see them get better in all these areas of special teams and then not have a punter to show it off.
I just saw Alex Bullock has entered the transfer portal as well. Nebraska wide receiver, 16 catches for 233 yards and a touchdown is his career stats. Wish him the best. Obviously, they're doing what they believe is best. I guarantee it was talked about, hey, we got a good traditional punter. They probably are like, no, if we're going to change these, let's change things now. And they obviously already have somebody else in mind. So I'm excited to see who we bring in, what this looks like. Here's what I know. Ekeler's stats, not his stats, but his special teams stats while he was the special teams coordinator there at Tennessee is pretty freaking phenomenal. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I'm really excited to see what we can do with the return game. We've had no return game to speak of. DeMarne Pearsonell's freshman year? Is that really the last time? And I know that's just an exceptional returner there. That's one of the all-time greats. But I'm trying to think of, all right, who was dangerous? Just I use the word, not even good, great, anything, just dangerous since then. I'm having a hard time coming up with somebody.
Yeah, Ja'Cory Barney had one good kick return last year, but
he's dangerous, but not a ton of opportunities.
No, I wouldn't. I would say it'd probably be since DPE.
See what happens. I want to see a consistent pass rusher at some point too. Ty Robinson did really, really well being a 3-3-5 defensive end. It's really been since Randy Gregory, probably. And his senior year, he was banged up. Was it really mostly his junior year? Because he got banged up his senior year. I mean, that's too long ago for all this stuff. So.
Well, it might be why you've only been to one bowl game.
Very true. All right. I'm curious to see what else we do differently on special teams, and I'm excited to see the direction that it goes. All right. You probably saw this, but Lee Corso, his final college game day show will take place week 1 of the 2025 season. He was on college game day for 38 years. Man. Dude, my earliest memories are the ones that stick out in my head are him and Kirk and Fowler at the Fiesta Bowl for whatever reason versus Florida. I don't know why I know why it sticks out to me because I'm a Nebraska guy and they were young and it was years ago and I was 11. But man, what a legendary career. I remember, and now when you think about Saban and some of the things he says now, it's like nothing. I was in DC and it's a Saturday. Game day was on my TV. I went to team meetings, the walkthrough on Saturday was a home game. I came home and all of a sudden Corso was on my screen apologizing because he swore on national TV. And to this day, he dropped an F-bomb or something he didn't mean to. Yeah. Now you listen to things Nick Saban says, it's like nothing, man. But man, what a legendary career Lee Corso has had. The picks, the headgear, all that stuff. Dude, what are some of your favorite Lee Corso moments from over the years?
Oh man, I mean, it's hard to break down into one, but I mean, it was part of what I love about college football. I kind of grew up with him already being college game day, being part of what college football was, and it really drew me to it over the last couple of years. Big Noon, I think they've been competitive, and so I guess maybe I have dialed down my college game day viewing experience, and I know he's kind of taken on lesser of a role as well, but. I mean, when I think college football, Lee Corso is going to be simultaneous with it. Those headgear picks, I don't know if they're going to try to get Pat McAfee or somebody else to do that moving forward. But it was just so special and exciting and fun. And he had his little not so fast phrases and stuff you could kind of look forward to. Him and Herb Street make just a great package together. So naturally I'm going to think of the times that he did come. There weren't that many college game day here at Nebraska. I went to the one in 2007 versus USC. That did not turn out well, but it was in Maside Memorial Stadium. So it was a cool experience. And then I was able to work actually for a 4-letter network, we'll put it that way. When College Game Day came to Lincoln this last time out against Ohio State, also did not turn out too well for the Huskers on the field, but was one of my favorite experiences working in sports. So I'm rambling on here, but I love Lee Corso. So I really I understand that it's a day that was going to happen. Maybe some would say too late, but I just can't get enough of him.
Oh, I'm with you. I mean, you could see it coming, recently, but I think that's why they brought on Saban and McAfee, and things always have to evolve and change anyways. And man, just a legendary career, random out of nowhere. Cause you referenced the 4-letter word, Ford or Chevy.
For me, I'm not big, I guess Chevy, but I'm not huge one way or the other.
My dad considers Ford to be a 4-letter word, just FYI.
Mm.
He calls another 4-letter F word is what he calls. He's not a Ford fan. Is what I'm getting at.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm. He's not a Ford guy. Is what I'm saying. I've never had a big preference one way or the other, but when you said 4-letter word and I was like, it made me think of my dad and some of the rants he's gone on over the years. But absolutely, Lee Corso, absolute freaking legend, going to be missed. One of the greats of all time when it comes to endearing and bringing in an audience and endearing people to a particular sport or game, and in this case, college football. All right, we're going to do a little bit of a Husker sports roundup real quick before we go to break. And then we got some press conferences to react to. I'm hoping we're going to get some notes on Matt Rule here shortly. I'll give some quick thoughts on Butler from the other day and Riley Van Poppel, who looks like a guy who's ready to make some plays if you just look at him. All right, Nebraska basketball, back-to-back 20-plus win seasons. Nebraska's 21 wins in 2024. 2025 ties for 7th on the all-time school list. Nebraska has won 44 games in the past 2 seasons, and that's the second highest 2-year total in school history, obviously winning the Crown Championship, second postseason tournament style championship. Nebraska softball moves up to number 18 in the country. They've been doing really well, as I mentioned on my previous show. Jordy Ball on Tuesday. Jordy Ball just doing her Jordy Ball thing, 1.33 ERA, 175 strikeouts, and she has 12 home runs, which somebody, when they sent this, says a career high. Well, yeah, one would be a career high. She never batted at Oklahoma, but still pretty awesome either way. LEXI Rodriguez, I'm sure you've seen this. All right. She wins the prestigious AAU James E. Sullivan Award. She joins an elite group of athletes and is only the 3rd volleyball player in history to earn that honor. All right, Rodriguez is the first Nebraska volleyball player and 2nd ever Husker student athlete, Rulon Gardner being the other, all right, in 2000 to receive the honor. I thought that was pretty cool, pretty rare, pretty special, rarefied air for LEXI. All right, it was good. I hate it when we lose. Like I show Creighton love. Okay, I bring the volleyball coach on and I bring other people on. I show Creighton love because they're a Nebraska team. But God, do I hate it when we lose to them. I hate it when we lose to them in basketball and baseball and any sport. So even though this is 2 days old, I didn't have a show yesterday. Nebraska baseball beats Creighton 6-3. That was a nice little win to see. All right, as far as Nebraska women's basketball, they had another transfer, their 3rd transfer this offseason. Maryland transfer Emily Fisher is committed to Nebraska. The 6-foot sophomore averaged 2 points a game last season. All right, when it comes to Nebraska volleyball, Kenna Coghill signed her paperwork today, become an official part of the Nebraska volleyball program. The 6'4" middle will join the team this summer. And you know what? Mike Leach, one of a kind. When I saw this, I was like, oh, this would have been the most Mike Leach thing ever, and it would have been phenomenal. And I sent it to Jake, and I said, can we talk about this on air? He said, yeah, I think it'd be great. Mike Leach was talked down from lining up a little person in the backfield and then throwing them over the line of scrimmage in short yardage and goal line situations. He said, other than the optics of doing this, why wouldn't this be allowed? And logistically, shouldn't it work? What a phenomenal strategy. How are they going to stop that? Jake, how would you even try to stop that?
I don't know. My fear would be, obviously trying to bat them down. That would be the fear.
All
or
right.
maybe you could intercept him.
Well, you'd be in the end zone, though.
Yeah, I suppose that's true, yeah.
Just, again, outside the box thinking. This is the type of stuff I want to hear from Matt Rule. Outside the box thinking, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. All right. So, is there a live stream of the Rule press conference?
Yes.
There is. All right. Do you have any notes to this point yet, Jake?
Yes, we do. It's an interesting one.
Ooh. All right. Send those to me. We shall talk about them when we come back.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Everton plays Man City at 9 a.m., followed by Aston Villa versus Newcastle at 11:30 a.m. On Sunday, Man United plays Wolves at 8 a.m., with Ipswich Town versus Arsenal at 8 a.m. as well. Liverpool currently leads the standings with 76 points. You can find all this and more at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket, your place for English Premier League soccer.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown's Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
This is Monster Jam. Big air, backflips, and all-out racing. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. The fun begins at the pit party, where you can meet the drivers, get autographs, take pictures, and see the trucks up close. Get your pit party pass at monsterjam.com today. Must have valid event ticket to enter pit party. Restrictions may apply. Rules and activities are subject to change. Visit website for event details. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena this Friday and Saturday.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Out for Markinitis with an opening. Here he comes, Markinitis. He scores!
The 2025 Clark Cup playoffs are here. Join us at the Icebox for all the excitement as the Stars try to bring home their third Clark Cup. Head to USHL.com for a look at the playoff picture and upcoming games. Purchase your tickets for home playoff games now at LincolnStars.com or by calling the box office at 402-474-7827.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Podcast platforms, Amazon Prime. Have they been able to hear me the whole time? No, they couldn't hear me?
No, they couldn't hear you.
All right.
But now they can hear you.
Jake took a nap. I'll start over. Welcome back to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Check out all things The Ticket at theticketfm.com. All right. Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Prime, anywhere you get your podcast platforms, or simply turn your radio dial to 93.7. The Ticket is every freaking where. All right. We're going to get into Matt Rule's press conference. In Jake's words, it's an interesting one. Real quick, because I didn't talk about Butler the other day at all. I'm just going to go through some highlights. Comfortable where we're at on defense, firm too deep at every position. Things that have stood out are man coverage and blitzers seem to be better. Secondary will be a strength in this defense, which is interesting because we've been told it's a work in progress, but whatever. Level of physicality is elite. Well, I don't need to hear anymore. Riley Van Poppel has gained 8 to 10 pounds this season. Energy is contagious. Both sides of the ball have great depth. We have depth, talent, and energy. Riley Van Poppel looks like a guy who's ready to start making some plays this year. Highly recruited guy. You saw him pop off, no pun intended, in the bowl game, just a little bit. Saw a lot of young guys in that bowl game on defense. Let's see what happens here. Zaire Wright, extremely confident in this defense, really focused on watching film. Offense has a lot of weapons. All the new guys fit in well. Love it, except for the guys that went back to the portal. Other than that, everyone else fit in phenomenally. All right. Real quick, because I'm looking at these notes, because I know some things have stood out to you already. What's already stood out to you from Matt Rule's press conference so far there, Jake?
Well, I think the biggest thing is he said that there will be some actual live action football, which I know a lot of people will be pretty excited about with the spring game being replaced with these Husker games. They're going to do a little bit. Now, don't get excited. It's not going to be Dylan throwing a Ja'Cory Barney out there if that's what you're looking for. But it is interesting because it is going to be more of the guys. He said it's not going to be the first or second team. It's more the guys that are looking to make the 105. And it might be kind of last chance for some of those guys to put on a showcase, whether for them to make the Husker football team, or maybe some film to go out there in the transfer portal. But that's fascinating. And obviously he also mentioned that he talked to Troy Dannon about it last night. So good enough to mention here at the press conference. I think just that, I think that can get some more sales up for this Husker games. People want to see some live action football. You're going to get some.
I like that. I'm excited about that. It's going to remind me of used to be when there was 4 preseason games, the 4th preseason game of the NFL preseason, or now the 3rd preseason game going into the NFL preseason. And that was always, to me, actually the most intriguing one, because it was guys' last chance who were fighting to make the team. So that can be intriguing. Are you going to see, like you said, Dylan and all these other guys? No, probably not. But even if we played a spring game, they were probably going to be out there for 15 snaps this year, and they're out anyways. So you're going to, whatever this looks like. And nobody really knows what this is going to look like. And clearly they're still figuring it the frick out, okay? They just talked last night about, hey, let's have actual football. Well, okay, we might do that. So we'll see what it looks like a week from now. But you're going to get actual football. But to me, this is even more intriguing because I know what it's like to be in the locker room before games when guys are about to go out to play in this game that to most of the world doesn't matter, but to them it's everything. They're fighting to make a team. They're fighting to make a roster. They're fighting for their careers. And at a certain extent, that's what college football has turned into now. Not a certain extent, a large extent. So that I don't know if this is going to be like extremely interesting to everybody. It's hard if you aren't as familiar with the players sometimes to be as interested. Okay, if you don't know the names or whatever, to me it's going to be extra interesting. And here's something that has been brought up as well. And I'm partial to things like this, and I'm extra interested in things like this. Matt Rule says walk-on Jacob Bauer has moved into a potential starting role at linebacker. A lot of praise from Matt Rule for sophomore linebacker Jacob Bauer. He's no longer a walk-on by the old definition. The cost of his school will be covered. Bauer is 6'1", 220 from Rancho Santa Margarita, California, making a move to play in the multiple defensive packages this fall. I love that. I love that because we talk about all these portal guys. All right, we signed this guy, bam, starting at this position. We signed this guy, starting at this position. I always try to make it clear it still has to be earned. The way I phrased it, correct me if I'm wrong, Jake, is some guys are going to get, I can't think of the words, more room for error. That's not what I would say. How did I phrase it? Was it room for error?
That sounds about right. I don't know if that's exactly what you said it, but
it's not exactly
I get what you're saying.
I'm blanking right now. Okay. I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning, couldn't go back to sleep, so not thrilled about that. Normally I get to sleep until 6, but basically we'll go with room for error right now. If you come in via the transfer portal, let's say you sign for $1 million, okay, you're going to get more room for error. Benefit of the doubt. That's what it was. You'll get more benefit of the doubt. I'm fine with that. There's a reason they brought you in. There's a reason they paid you money. Sometimes the desperate teams set the market, which is exactly what Matt Rule said today. So sometimes you have to overpay for certain people. Not for Nico Iamaleava. Not for Nico Amalivia. But my point is, at the end of the day, you still got to earn it. So we've talked about linebackers. We've talked about Dawson McCullough and Williams and Warray, Vincent Shavers, Willis McGahee, Marquez Watson-Trent. Have we ever talked about him? And I love that. And some guys will get offended. Oh, you talked about a position group, you didn't mention me. So a lot of times what I'll try to do is I'll mention the certain guys that have caught attention already. They've caught attention for a reason. Nobody gets excluded for a reason other than we can't talk about everybody. I'll say, and everybody else in that room. And that's my way of including everybody. There's not going to be 150 guys to talk about anymore, so maybe it'll be easier to talk about each and every guy in the room. But when there's 150, it's like, you name the guys people are paying the most attention to, and then I would always say, and everybody in that room, and that's guys like Jacob Bowers. I love this. So now we have another guy, amongst all the other guys, he's a sophomore, by the way, young guys that can help contribute in this linebacker core. And I always have a soft spot for guys who go from walk-on to earning a scholarship, which apparently for now in college football is still a thing. So I'm a big fan of that. All right. What else has stood out to you so far from this press conference?
Well, it is interesting because he did mention, just to go on that Bauer thing too, is how long are we going to get these stories? This might be the last of the walk-on stories. So it's very cool to see a guy, that, by the way, that considered playing rugby instead of football at this level. So we're glad that he stuck with football and came to walk on here at Nebraska. But another one, I mean, he also spoke about Lee Corson. He said he expects for College Game Day to be in Lincoln this year. He also said that this is the team he's been waiting for. So I think the level of expectation or the belief, the confidence throughout the spring seems to be building to the point that he's vocalizing that now.
Now? He's been talking about a jump since Boston College ended. Which again, hey, if that's your style, that's your style. If that's the part of the package that is Matt Rule, that's cool. I hope Windsor are part of that package too. No, he's getting bolder and bolder. Talking about the O-line being a highlight of the spring and the defensive line is going to be amongst the best around. And, you know, Butler's talking about we got a solid 2 deep on defense. And DB's talking about how the wide receiver room is elite. And Butler talking about The pass defense is going to be one of the strengths of the team this year, or was not a year ago. And then Matt Rule. This is the ultimate statement that I've heard so far. This is the team I've been waiting for. Okay. It's April. It's not April Fool's, but it's April. I was going to say the spring game hasn't happened yet. It's not going to happen, but we're going to get some sort of a version of live football, so I'll take that in about a week and a half. All right, Jake, is this Kool-Aid? Do you buy into this? Does this get you more excited? Do you roll your eyes? Do not walk the line down the middle. You have to pick a side.
No, I mean, it does get me more excited. I think, with the coach, again, a coach vocalizing that, that this is what he's been waiting for. This is the team. Then you don't expect to have too many excuses. And there were a lot of holes. There were a lot of things that needed to get better on that team last year. They addressed those in the offseason. Hopefully kind of patch this team together to make it and be able to make that jump in year 3. When you're calling for College Game Day to come to Lincoln and saying this is the team you've been waiting for, I mean, these are talks of a 9-10 win football team. And I've been hesitant to take that jump. But as I say, usually as it gets closer to the season, I'll drink more Kool-Aid. This is a Kool-Aid day. I'm drinking.
No daggers?
No daggers. No daggers today.
Have you come around on basketball a little bit as well?
I mean, different level of expectation.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I think they can compete for the tournament next year.
They're going to be fun to watch anyways next year.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Man. And he's used that term jump a lot, year 3 jump. I tell you what. So it's multiple things here. Number one, I want to drink Kool-Aid. It's a long off season. I want something to be excited about. So I will readily admit, I want to be excited about something. I want the Kool-Aid. I want it to taste good. My favorite flavor is red, by the way. But then I'm kind of like, heard this a lot for quite a few years. And I want to I don't roll my eyes, but I want to. Just like I want to drink the Kool-Aid. So I'm torn. I have to admit. So like when he talked about we're going to have one of the best D-lines around, and I'm like, we haven't even been in pad yet. Okay. Gigantic grain of salt. When he talked about, the O-line's one of the highlights of spring. It was nice that he highlighted certain O-linemen to give us an example. Because that O-line, they're missing a lot of linemen this spring. So I'm like, how much stock can we put in this? When you hear about guys like Tyler Canuck stepping up, and other walk-ons that he's mentioned. Not just Jacob, the linebacker, but in that O-line room as well. It's still kind of like, all right, some of these guys aren't even practicing right now. At the wording, it's weird. The words, this is the team I've been waiting for. Maybe because it's different than something we've ever heard, it gets me excited. Is it just because it's just like a new wrestling catchphrase? It's just a wrestling catchphrase, but it's new. The measuring stick, the face that runs the place, the final boss. It all means the same thing. But the final boss gets me excited more than the measuring stick because I heard the measuring stick for 20 years. By the way, not a Triple H fan, just me. Great with creative, the wrestler. Is it just because it's something new and we haven't heard it said this way? It's just like the team I've been waiting for. Just the way that sounds. I can't help but get excited. Do you have a Kool-Aid machine?
I could go make you some Kool-Aid.
Dude, I would drink it. So on my show last fall on a Sunday night, I said, if we beat Colorado, we go 2-0, I'll drink Kool-Aid on my show that Sunday night. I did. Here's what happened, though. And here's what I've never told anybody. My tongue swole up.
Uh-oh.
Okay? Not like gigantically, but to the point where like it's going to sound stupid. It felt hard to fit in my mouth. We looked at the Kool-Aid box. It had been expired for 18 months. Because I'm like, what happened? And she's like, well, we've had this for a while. I looked at it, but I was like, oh. I don't want expired Kool-Aid, but if you got Kool-Aid and you make it, I will drink it. Though I don't know. The team I've been waiting for. It's just that phrasing gets me excited. I've got to calm down. We got to go to break. I got to calm down. All right. I'm just going to roll my eyes a few times just to get it in. I don't really want to at this point, but just the wording. I don't know how to phrase it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We shall return.
Authentic Mexican food is not always easy to find, but you can find it in Lincoln at Tacos Los Hermanos. Their birria tacos are worth the drive from anywhere in town, but their chicken, chorizo, al pastor, and asada tacos are also worth the trip. You can also try any of those meats in a burrito or quesadilla. You won't find a better toppings bar in the area or better dessert options. If you can't get there, don't worry, they do deliver as well. Stop by Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock Streets in Lincoln. Start your engines, race fans. Race season at Eagle Raceway officially starts this Friday and Saturday. Friday, April 18th and Saturday, April 19th is the Icebreaker Challenge, presented by Stop and Shop and Auto Transmatic at Eagle Raceway. Both days feature Nebraska's best lawn and landscape modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, and A1 Iron stock cars. Friday also features Valentino's Hobby Stocks. Saturday will feature Nebraska Septic Sprint cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com.
Out for Markinitis with an opening. Here he comes, Markinitis. He scores!
The 2025 Clark Cup playoffs are here. Join us at the Icebox for all the excitement as the Stars try to bring home their third Clark Cup. Head to USHL.com for a look at the playoff picture and upcoming games. Purchase your tickets for home playoff games now at LincolnStars.com or by calling the box office at 402-474-7827.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740. Runners, are you ready? The 48th Annual Lincoln Marathon takes over the streets on Sunday, May 4th. Whether you're chasing a personal best, conquering your first race, or just in it for the bragging rights, this race is for you. Sign up for the full or half marathon today at lincolnmarathon.org, but don't wait, spots are filling fast. Join thousands of runners or line up along the course to cheer them on and make race day unforgettable. The Lincoln Marathon and Half Marathon, your finish line is waiting. Register now at lincolnmarathon.org. Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall, Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown's Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
I tried to hide my cigarette smoking. Then I was rushed into emergency surgery to repair the damage smoking did to my heart. It shocked everyone because they thought I was healthy. Yet because I smoked, I had a severe heart condition that nearly killed me. My tip is, you may be able to hide your smoking from the world, but you can't hide from the damage smoking does to your body.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right. Not everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid. Jake, share with the fine folks at home. One of our, I was going to say not so friendly fans. Our fans are always awesome. The comment may not be so friendly. Go ahead.
Sorry, we got a few comments here as reaction mostly to our Kool-Aid drinking, I think. Big Daddy Travis says, never drink the Kool-Aid. Too much Kool-Aid for the last 10 years. And then Greg in Myrtle Beach says, ironic that middle school rule would cancel the only game he won't be outcoached in. The correct term for Husker football is comatose giant.
Wow. Middle school rule sounds like the beginning of an Eminem rap. Like, you know what I mean? Like middle school rule, not that cool. He's a fool, even make you want to drool. Hey, that wasn't bad for off the top.
Hey, you're a freestyle rapper.
So my son hates the music that I like. And I actually have a very eclectic mix. I'll literally go from country to rock to rap to pop to whatever. Yeah, I said pop. Deal with it, people. And he'll be like, Dad, the music is awful. You can't sing. You can't rap. You can't do. I was like, whoa. I cannot sing. I can, just not good. I cannot play an instrument, but I can rap a smidge. I'm not saying I'm Eminem or Jake Bakoven. I'm just saying a smidge. You got a little taste right there. That's right off the top of the dome.
I like it.
All right. Anything else from the text line?
No, not for now.
Let's see here. Matt Rule says the scrimmage next Saturday is not a battle for the 105, but will feature players who don't necessarily have spots among that top group. So maybe it's his way of trying to feature these guys so other schools can pick them up, the opposite of what he was concerned of. You know, these are the things that most college football coaches are not going to take the time to think about. And I actually appreciate that. And let's be real. He wants to give the fans some actual football. So it's a little bit of a crowd pleaser as well. All right. I thought this was interesting. Let's see if I can find the exact thing here. All right. Matt Rule calls Jack McAllister, and I quote, collateral damage, end quote, of the coaching change from Ed Foley to Mike Ekeler. For Nebraska being willing to move toward rugby punting, and I quote, and away from what he does best, end quote. All right. He said, I feel terrible about the circumstances as well. They're also, the rugby punting will be addressed this summer is what they said, as far as who they're probably going to bring in or in the future at some point. I assumed in the future, but probably sounds like a little bit more down the road, rather later than sooner. I know we would all prefer it be sooner rather than later. But all right, Jake, any final thoughts? We got about a minute before we got to get out. Yeah, you don't get to see me till Monday. What are you doing for Easter weekend? You're going to go, I was going to say hunt rabbits. That's not what you do on Easter. Easter egg hunting. Are you going to do any Easter egg hunting?
I am going to do some Easter egg hunting up in Omaha, actually, this day. Oh, yeah, on Saturday and then probably on Sunday as well. So that should be fun. Of course, it is WrestleMania weekend, so we'll watch that. NBA playoffs. There's a lot going on.
Ooh, WrestleMania. All right. If you're not a wrestling fan, I was going to say I apologize, but how dare you? All right. Who you got winning? We'll do some of the top matches. John Cena, Cody Rhodes. Who you got?
I think I got to go with Cody.
The Rock comes out. Cena does some dastardly deeds, and Cena wins and gets number 17. That's my prediction. What are some of the other major? Oh, triple threat. Roman Reigns, CM Punk in his first ever main event at WrestleMania, and Seth Rollins with Paul Heyman stuck right in the freaking middle. Who you got winning?
I'm going to go with CM Punk. I don't know if Paul Heyman's going to help him or not, but.
You know what's funny? I have him losing. I have him lose. I think he's going to be happy just to be in it, but I think they have him being the guy taking the fall. Any other matches you want to specifically talk about?
We got another minute here. No, I think Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair will be interesting. You got to put Tiffany over, but Charlotte always wins, so That's a tough one to call.
The abomination that has been the build-up to Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. And if you don't know what's going on, these ladies have taken real shots at each other verbally in the ring. They have brought each other's boyfriends and who's DMing who into the middle of scripted promos and made this thing very real and personal. It's been awesome, and I love it. I'll go with Tiffany. I really don't know who's going to win. All right, Jey Uso versus the Gunther and the worst I don't care championship match of all time. Who you got? It's not even a main event. That's how bad it is.
They've got to go with Uso.
Yeah.
Considering how far they've gone with it.
What if they turn him heel? What if they turn him heel?
Tough.
All right. I'm going to go with Uso as well. Have a great weekend. Go Big Red Nose. Remember to throw the bone.